Hello everybody, how are you doing? Welcome back to Man City Unplugged, your very own Man City fan channel. We have Roshan here, we'll take a comment from him. He says, club has so few fans that Pep has to come in press conference to support them. Epic. I mean, if you're a fan of the other club, you'll always say that. I can understand, but it's not the club having few fans and stuff like that. He has just not come and said about City fans. He has come and said about Barca fans as well. He has said after winning three La Ligas in a row, the fourth one there was no hunger, and then I left. And same with Bayern also, he has told the same thing. So it's not about Pep telling about one set of fans. It's told about it from his Barca days to Bayern days to City, that when you win so much, the hunger can sometimes die and stuff like that. Hey NB23, how are you doing? Are you ready for the match? Hey Alpstar, how are you? Yes, I remember you all from the last stream, Alpstar NB23. Thank you so much for being back again. Sorry for that, but so Roshan, it's not about home fans booing and things like that. After that thing, after that Pep press conference, I think I'll be all right now. I've had a gulp of water, but after that Pep press conference thing, few of my friends even wrote me that what a pity that home fans are booing and stuff like that. See, it was a section of home fans booing, and they were not booing, and they were booing for a reason. Gundogan said that the club was not playing well for a reason. Pep said there was no hunger and there was no desire for a reason. So the fans booed for a reason. It's not that the fans are, we have won 4 Premier Leagues in 5 years and the fans are content and stuff like that. No, fans were booing because we were moving the ball so slowly. There was no edge to it. Against Spurs, what kind of a shit first half that was. It was so shit that Pep himself had to come out in the press conference and speak about it. So the fans were right to boo there, but all of the opposition clubs, they've just got opposition fans, they've just got a wrong view on it, why the fans booed. When I say says fans were going on the ref and not the players. I mean, it was just taken out of context when I was saying. Even if they were booing on the players, they're not booing on everyone. They were booing on certain individuals who were not, up to the mark. Certain individuals who were not giving their entirety on it. So NB23 says, I'm doing good today. What about you? I'm very excited for today's match, NB23. Hopefully it will be a good start to the weekend tomorrow, because again the Premier League is not back for 2 weeks. I think we have Arsenal in the FA Cup next weekend. So if this thing goes badly, it will mean another weekday that starts with not good memories. Alsta says, do you think Man City will win today? Hope so, Alsta. By the way, what do you guys think about the lineup? Pep never manages not to surprise us. I can't understand what is Aymeric Laporte doing here. Can anyone tell me what is Aymeric Laporte doing in this lineup? Vinay says little lamb was fouled many times. That was something, Vinay, which frustrated me as well. Rico Lewis was fouled so many times, and none of the players went up. See, if you had someone like a Ruben Diaz in the past, even a Vincent Kompany, people would just go angry. Fernandinho missed those days when one of our players were fouled. One of them would go to the ref and they would, and they would just shout angrily at the ref. They would show some aggression towards the opposition players. They would be in the face of the Spurs players. That's what Pep was telling. Lewis was fouled so many times and he was left to be alone there. It seemed as if we, as a team, we were not having that fight. City winning the title in the past years, chasing down Liverpool, was not just about magical football, mesmeric passing lanes, sharp movement. It was nothing of the sort. It was because we fought for each other. It was because we were there for each other in tough moments. If one of player was fouled, the other was already in the face of that player. We backed each other up. In this team, one of the problems I have, one of the concerns I have with this team is far too many 1v1s. Our fullbacks, for example, or our defenders are left with far too many 1v1s. Rodri is getting isolated far too many times. The winger is not doubling up and helping the opposition fullback. So those are the things which Pep was talking about in terms of lack of hunger, lack of passion, and all of that. Not playing for each other. Apart from all of the technical qualities, all of the teams that have won the Premier League have had this quality of team spirit. Team spirit trumps everything and anything. Alsta says, no wanna call. I won't jinx it, Alsta. That's with me. If I call, it always is opposite. So I just don't want to jinx it. That's why I won't tell the score line, Alsta. But deep down I want to win. I want City to win. That's the only thing. But I won't jinx it with the score line and stuff. Vishal says, hey man, saw the bad comments on your previous stream. Sorry it happened. There are always people with no work to do and they just disturb other people who are doing good work. That's fine, Vinay. See, criticism is fine on this channel. It's invited on this channel. There are many opposition fans here. We constructively criticize each other. We constructively talk. We pull each other's leg. That is fine. That is invited on this channel. But what happened the other day? That's something we we hope will not happen. Alsta says, hi, do you remember me from? Yes, Alsta, I remember you from the last stream. Thank you for joining me now. Payaji says, is it too much to ask for a settled back four from Pep? It's impossible, Bayaji. It's impossible to ask for a settled back four from Pep. That's not in the man's DNA. But this is a problem, Bayaji. This is a problem. Who do you play at left back? Because Natanake is, how many games has he started Natanake in a row? He's been playing pretty much every game, right? Since the World Cup has ended. So who do you play there? Sergio Gomez out of form. Cancelo. The comments in the press conference, everyone thought he was targeting KDB, but the comments in the press conference were towards Foden and Cancelo. Foden's been even left out of the lineup, so I don't know how that will clear himself out, but I don't know. What do you guys make of Laporte's this thing? Because Laporte doesn't have pace. Does that mean that he's going to stay back? Is it going to be a back three with Laporte joining? And I think so. That is the plan. A back three with Laporte joining and Rico Lewis inverting into the midfield, which means Gundogan and KDB can play in those half spaces, which means Grealish and Mahrez play out wide, hugging the touchline. I think that is the plan from Pep to prevent counter-attack. He wants Lewis to go inside. Vinay says, like this kind of Pep, he's very vocal this season because of players form. More teams challenging other than just Liverpool. But Vinay, even during the Liverpool times, he wasn't that vocal, right? There is surely something that pissed Pep off today this season, especially the last 2 weeks. There's surely something. See, Everton game pissed him off. United, the way we conceded the second goal, it really pissed him off. Everton game we should have won. That Brentford defeat pissed him off. That Liverpool defeat pissed him off. Who loses to Liverpool in this kind of a form, right? I'm still thinking, how did we drop those 3 points there at Anfield against Liverpool? Who loses to Liverpool in this form? Bloody Southampton can defeat Liverpool now. Liverpool are looking so bad. You just take those points into consideration. Liverpool 3 points. Then Brentford, the points we have lost. Everton, the points we have lost. And even though Arsenal are at full tilt, can see that we are almost neck to neck in the title race. This title race has been blown just because of the irresponsibility of certain individuals. It's not like the 2021 season when Liverpool won the 1920 season when Liverpool won the title. The entire team dropped off, injuries. That is fine. Cycles happen. But this team, irresponsibility of Cancelo, irresponsibility of the defense against Everton, irresponsibility of the defense against United, you suddenly are 8 points of the title. So that's what Pep was addressing. And Adama Traore is here, I think. It will be interesting to see how we deal with him. Alsta says, yeah, it's a great lineup. Bayaji says, I think the last time Laporte as left back was successful was a crunch win versus Liverpool 2-1. Yes, 18-19 season, I remember that match, Bayaji. Memories, that was, I think Pep called it in the press conference as well, right? Before that match, January 2nd, 2019, I still remember it. Pep told, if you lose this match, we lose the title, and Vincent Kompany put a crunching tackle on Salah in that match. Aguero scored from a tight angle. That season was epic. It was full of memories. Alsta says, do you think Haaland will score today? Has to score. He has to score. We want our old Haaland back. Jack Grealish hugging the touchline. Vinay says, how can we forget players take one full season to settle under Pep? Is it time for Grealish looks like? I think Grealish is improving actually. The last two matches are quite a loose ball. Beyond Lewis. I've actually look at that. Wolves players chasing. It's Raul Jimenez chasing the ball, Shang chasing the ball. So we have to be careful on the counter attack here. That was a loose giveaway in the midfield, and Pep will not be happy with it. You're right, when players take time to settle under Pep, Leroy Sané. When people were calling for Rodri's head, if you remember, they were telling he's a how can he replace Fernandinho and is the best DM in the world right now, not just in the league. So I think we have to give Calvin Phillips time, but Jack Grealish, I think the I think the difference between Jack Grealish and others is Rodri was a CDM and he was being played at CDM, right? And Leroy Sané was a winger, he was being played at wing, but Jack Grealish is a midfield player and he's being played at left wing. So I think the adaptability might just take a little bit longer. But Jack Grealish is on the ball, as we say. Grealish, he's played it back to Gundo. Rodri, excellent switch of play from Rodri and the inform Mahrez. Mahrez is here 1v1 with his opposition fullback Riyad Mahrez. Riyad cutting in. That's vintage Riyad. A header for out for a corner. For a moment, I thought the ball will land on Haaland's head. Vinay says, what about Rodri? He must be tired. He is making so many mistakes. Rodri is definitely tired, Vinay. Even for that Spurs goal, which Edison sold him down the river, and for Spurs' second goal as well, where Rodri missed on the tackle on Kane. I think the sharper Rodri would have prevented both the mistakes. It's just an inch off. But what do we do? Calvin Phillips is not in the best of form. Is nowhere near good enough to play Calvin Phillips right now. So, and you're right, Rodri needs to get a rest. And I'm sure he'll get a rest against in the FA Cup match against Arsenal actually. So then I think Arsenal will be a test for Calvin Phillips even though it's FA Cup. Bayaji says, who's gonna take care of Traore? That will be interesting to see. That will be interesting to see. Who's gonna go after Traore, and John Stones is being just brought to ground. I don't know what the referee is doing here. This is the fight Pep was telling about. Rodri coming and arguing with the ref. This is what we want to see. No one was bloody doing it in the other games. No one was bloody doing it. What are the Wolves players doing to John Stones? This is the fight Pep was talking about. Play for each other. Alpsta says Laporte is a great centre back, but he struggles a bit. More than a bit, Alpsta. Laporte struggles. People will remember the Champions League games against Spurs, for example, where Laporte gave away a chance to Son in the second leg. Misfired clearance. So Laporte is an extremely good centre back, but at times there is a lapse of concentration, you could say, and he just struggles with his decision making. Alsta says, I love your stream so much. I shared it to all my friends. Thank you for it, Alsta. Thank you. Appreciate it. And I'm glad that you're loving my streams. Riyad Mahrez with the ball. Rico Lewis. I think how we manage the transition is going to be extremely critical. It's something we struggled with. And I mean, I'm not so worried about how we manage transition because whenever we have struggled because Rodri has been isolated. But now Pep seems to have got rid of that problem by having Rico Lewis just beside him in the midfield. Look at it, the link-up play is much better from the midfield. And wow, Rico Lewis what a play from Rico Lewis. What a play from Rico Lewis over there. Look at how he passes the ball to Mahrez and makes a run out wide. This is Rico Lewis at his absolute best. That's his best streams ever. Thank you. Rico Lewis is playing extremely well. Alstra says, I think some of my friends are joining. Exactly. They're joining, I think. Yeah. That's why the numbers of people watching are also growing. Yeah. Rico Lewis, the role played by Rico Lewis is still intriguing to me because he's playing beside Rodri, but See, the thing is, I think in the Stamford Bridge as well, I know in the second half, Rico Lewis played beside Rodri, but there's something else which, and in Spurs' first half as well, Rico Lewis is playing, had played beside Rodri, but the difference in the second half of Spurs was, Rico Lewis overlapped as well. He was making those runs from the midfield as well as he was joining inside. I think when Rico Lewis does that, we have that flow of flowing football. We have that momentum going forward. So I actually think he has to do both because in the Spurs first half, when Rico Lewis was just sitting almost as a second pivot, now De Bruyne is out wide. I am loving the fluidity here. I'm loving the fluidity, and Rico Lewis is the orchestrator here. Loving it, man, loving it. It's almost City's academy in full flow. I think this is the Jack Grealish 1v1. Jack Grealish 1v1. Jack almost loses the ball, but he doesn't. Laporte has come forward as well. Laporte has to be careful. He doesn't have pace. By the way, who is on Traore's side? Traore is playing down the left, I think. We need to be really careful of the ball. We need to protect the ball for 90 minutes. They only need a few seconds to break the deadlock. So we need to be extremely careful. Everyone is moving. Just observe the movement, guys. The movement is fantastic. Kevin to KDB. Just need to sharpen up a bit more. KDB. The movement is fantastic actually. What is the referee doing here? Was the referee giving a free kick? David Coote is the referee, by the way. But look at that. A sharper KDB could have completed the 1-2 with Mahrez. But I'm seeing a lot of difference from all of the games we have played, even United one included. We have played before, after the World Cup, and this one. The movement, the fluidity. You can't say that one player is in a static position. The heads are always revolving. Rico Lewis, as soon as he gets the ball, pass and move, pass and move. It's the philosophy that we have forgotten this season. Just because Haaland has come, we have thought that you just play him in and you will get the goals. Pass and move, keep the width, be fluid. We have forgotten the fundamentals of Pep's philosophy, and that's why Pep was angry. That's why Pep was irate. And now you're seeing everything. Now you're seeing everything that, when Pep said, this is not my team, this is not the team that plays, that I recognize. He was absolutely right. We're too static in the previous games, hoping for Haaland to pull a rabbit out of the hat. But this is the team I recognize, I very well recognize. Laporte is now joining Akanji in the center. Stones is taking the right back. Stones, it's almost a back three there. It's almost a back three. Interesting formation. Well, he's been doing it for the last few games, but this is the most efficient version of what I've seen him doing. Rodri, Akanji, De Bruyne, Haaland is stepping inside. Haaland does extremely well. Who has told that Haaland can't link up play? Haaland is doing extremely well, and it's Ilkay Gundogan finding himself out wide. That's a free kick to City. That's a free kick to City. It's a yellow card. This is how you do it. It's a yellow card. The movement there was fantastic. Haaland coming in, pinching the ball, playing in Grealish, who plays in Gundogan. I think the challenge is actually much bad than what I actually saw it first time. He's actually got him on the face. By the way, guys, what do you think will be the points total needed to win the title this year? Will it be 90 to 95 or will it be in the mid 80s? I know Arsenal can get a potential 104, but 104 points. But what do you think realistically will be the points needed to get the title? 87. 87 points. Wow, Alstar. If it's 87 points, I think we have a. I think Gundogan is badly hurt, but if it's 87 points, I think we have a decent chance of going all the way if we can really shore up our performances and improve our game. I'm actually thinking it will go into the 90s, not the late 90s, but probably around 93, 94, I think. Because if it's 87, then I actually think City has a better chance of catching Arsenal. Because if you just go and see the form of Arsenal right now, the form you can actually see that they are on the way to getting more than 100 points, which I do not want. I do not want anyone to beat the Centurions record. So, but you know in the middle of season certain events happen that can change a team over, that can turn the entire form of a team, and I think that Spurs second half was that event. I think I still remember COVID season. It was we were struggling in 7th or 8th, then we go to Stamford Bridge, we are 5-0 up in no time before half time, and we kick on and win everything, all of the matches that season. 18-19 season, we were struggling at Christmas. Liverpool were top at Christmas. If you notice, we lost to Leicester. We lost, I think, 2-3 matches in the Christmas period, and everyone was telling it's Liverpool's title. We play them at the Etihad, win it, and then we just kick on. So I actually feel that Spurs game was the turning point, and Pep maximized the opportunity there after that Spurs game. You know, Pep went to that press conference and he told, "I'm not happy with the team. I want more passion." I mean, after such a comeback, if you demand more passion from a team, it's just gonna raise their eyebrows. It's just gonna raise the level even more, and that's what Pep Guardiola did. Wonderful man management from Pep Guardiola, I would say, after the Spurs game. Alsta says, guess you could say that exactly. But 87 to 93, I think it's not such a big range, but if it's below 90, then I'm really sure of City's chances. He's given another player a yellow card, the ref, David Coot. Wow, he's just I think this is another thing that Pep wanted to bring up, that Lewis is being fouled so many times and the ref was not booking the offender in the last game. So I think Pep addressed that in the press conference, and there you see the result. Alstra says, "Do you think Potter will get sacked this season?" I want him to get sacked this season, Alstra. I want Potter to get sacked this season because I always admired Graham Potter at Oh, he's showing the manager also a yellow card. Wow. This ref is something else. This ref is something else. Let us see the replay. That was a clear foul. That was a clear foul. That was a clear foul. That was a clear foul, and Rico Lewis held Rico Lewis around the neck. That is surely a foul. But yeah, Alsta, I actually want Graham Potter to get sacked because we had a discussion on this channel who could be City's next manager after Pep leaves, when Pep leaves, and I really wanted Graham Potter. People wanted Mikel Arteta, but I wanted Graham Potter because his in-game reading, his tactical analysis, I mean, it's just beautiful. So I really want Graham Potter at City. So that is the reason why I want him to be sacked. It's just a selfish thing, but I don't think he'll get sacked because they're bringing players who he likes. They're bringing players like Mudryk. They're bringing players like Madueke. Casido might come to Chelsea. Cucurella is already there. Badashil has come. So suddenly you see they're building a team in the eyes of Graham Potter. Yes, they're spending money, but so I doubt. Now I have a confusion. Who do I want to see at City after Pep? I do not know. Because for me it was Potter and Arteta, but seems that neither of the two will be out of the job very soon. Alstra says, I do really like Mudryk after yesterday's game. What a cross from De Bruyne. But the ball goes to Riyad Mahrez. Mahrez out wide. Riyad just put a ball in. Yes, that's what he does. Haaland just moved ahead a little too early. But Rodri, City piling on the pressure here. Laporte back to Grealish. Yes, it had to be Jack Grealish. Wonderful first time ball. Jack Grealish with the possession of the ball now. Jack. Good decision. Didn't try to take on two players. Ikai Gundogan. Gundogan loses the ball out. City put on the press. It's the free kick has gone in Wolves' favor right now. Yeah, Modric played extremely well. No, Modric played extremely well, and what I loved about him was he did not give away possession easily. He, he had that awareness when to release the ball, when to dribble with the ball, and that is actually difficult to get. So, was really impressed by his turn of pace, by the way he was linking up with Seko Meka yesterday. And he literally, there was one instance when Modric dribbled past the entire Liverpool team and 3 4 players, and he should have scored. The finish let him down, but 15 minutes gone and you haven't scored anything. We know that Wolves are a defensive team. They are 17th in the league, 16th or 17th in the league, so they're fighting for their lives already. Just like we played Everton. But the problem, but again, the problem here is like, how do you break a deep lying defense? Because we are lacking a winger and we are lacking an overlapping fullback to do that. So that is the difficulty. I know he's bought in Rico Lewis as an extra player between the lines, as a two, as a pivot almost beside Rodri. So Jack Grealish, and that's a goal kick for Wolves. They're doubling up on Jack Grealish. The space is out wide on Riyad Mahrez's side. KDB is not able to exert influence on the game. Alstas says, where do you think Bellingham will go? The rumors are not coming yet, but I'm sure he'll come to City. I'm 95% sure he'll come to City because we need Jude Bellingham at City. This midfield needs refreshment. So I'm sure Jude Bellingham will come to City. The murmurs are not there, but you know how City work behind the scenes. We are very quick to pounce, so I'm sure City transfer team is already working on the Jude Bellingham deal. Remote control account says, I thought Man City had already scored. No, they haven't. It would have been nice if they had already scored. NB23, hey, NB23. I saw 1-0 on another channel. No, it's not 1-0. It's not 1-0. Kevin De Bruyne, Erling Haaland with another bite of the cherry. Rico Lewis, Jack Grealish. Jack Grealish manages to keep it in. Rodri. The ref says that's not a foul and Wolves break away on the counter attack. This is where we need to be careful. That's a foul in Wolves' favor. No, it's not 1-0. NB23 says I can't call. I actually am not getting what are you saying. It's not 1-0. Hopefully it was 1-0, but it's not 1-0. Hope it was 1-0, but no. And I'm calling it that this is a must-win game for us. This is absolutely a must-win game for us. Wolves are now trying to play out from the back. Remote control account says Lopetegui, Arteta, Emery, Guardiola. Any more Spanish managers coming to the Premier League soon? Luis Enrique was a name that was heard. I actually thought that he would come to United before Ten Hag came. So Luis Enrique was linked with United. Diego Simeone was linked with United, but no. I would actually love to see Diego Simeone at Spurs. Those bunch of prats deserve Diego Simeone and his harshness. But I don't think any other Spanish manager is coming yet. NB23 says the streamer is better and more believable. Thank you so much, NB23. Kevin De Bruyne, wow! Almost what a ball it was to Ilkay Gundogan. The heel of the Wolves player came in the way. The heel of the Wolves player came in the way. Just not happening, guys. That little bit. Look at it. It was it was almost a slide rule pass. Ah, they were showing the previous attempt of Haaland. The Haaland one was Haaland should have scored there again. Haaland should have scored, but we are getting close. We are getting close. Don't be frustrated. We are getting close. Uh, remote control account is Ten Hag doing well. I mean, he was brave actually to manage that Man United side. You actually needed to be brave. You actually needed to hold. There's one common thing. Uh, there's one common thing that all of the managers who have been successful have done, be it Mikel Arteta, be it Pep Guardiola, be it even Jurgen Klopp to an extent, but be it Ten Hag. See, the common thing is Arteta, he left Aubameyang out due to a disciplinary issue or something. When Pep arrived, he went heavily on Yaya Toure. So everyone laid down a marker. The same thing with Ten Hag. The Cristiano Ronaldo thing was a statement that yes, I am the boss here. I am the boss. Things will go as I say or I leave. So I think that is the single biggest thing that Ten Hag has done to turn it around. Once he has done that, now everyone is like, he is the boss, we understand. Otherwise, there were so many bosses under Ole in that United dressing room. There were little groups being formed there. So Ten Hag did that. Again, that's why I say to win a title, buying technical players, buying talented players, all of that is easy. The difficult part is team spirit. Riyad Mahrez, Rico Lewis put a ball in. Ah, Alstar says, who do you support, England or India? India, of course, India, Alstar, India. All the way India. Remote control account says City are still the team to beat in the PL. I'm a Liverpool fan from Liverpool and we have dropped off badly. The last four full Premier League seasons, 152 Premier League games, just 1 point between Liverpool FC and MCFC. When I speak to my friends, I have a few friends who are football fans, who are Liverpool fans. When I speak to them, I still say that I still think Liverpool can get on a run because all of the memories I have of Liverpool is, especially in this January period, just going on an insane run and taking us close for the last 3-4 years. So, but what a battle it was for the last 3-4 years, right? For the Premier League title. It was just insane the way that team was Mane, Firmino. I think the decline of Firmino was the first warning for Liverpool, for you guys. And then after that, it was, I think, when Mane left, I think there was no one to press tenaciously, no one dropping in the midfield because there was no Firmino. So I think it just meant that you would drop off at some point. So I think people say selling Mane is the reason, but I still think losing Firmino, I mean, Firmino getting old and not being able to offer that intensity is the reason. See, it's the same thing why we are struggling this season because Haaland has come and it's a different way of play. There's no false nine. So with Liverpool, when Nunes has come, out and out striker, he doesn't come inside and press, right? So that's why they went for Gakpo. So the reason why both of us are struggling is the same. Because otherwise, this season we could easily have been equal on points with Arsenal. See, we gave away a shit goal against you lot with Cancelo, the last man and Salah going through him. And against Everton, it was shit points drop. Brentford shit points drop. So even though Arsenal are at full tilt playing beautiful football, we could easily have been 1-2 points of Arsenal or level with Arsenal. It's just both of us are going to transition. That's it. But the only difference between Liverpool and us is that Liverpool have not been lucky with injuries. That's the only thing. Otherwise, both of us are going through transitions. Both of us are trying to understand the new players, their pattern of play, their structure, and all of those things. So both of us are going through transition this season. Injuries is why Liverpool is so far off and why City is still in the contention for the title race. That's the only thing I would say. Wolves breakthrough here, Wolves breakthrough, and it's a free kick for Wolves. Uh, Halsta says, who is your favorite Indian player? Football, it's Sunil Chetri. And I I also follow Mumbai City FC actually in the ISL. So they are actually owned by Manchester City FC, the City Football Group. City Football Group have 66% stake in Mumbai City FC, and they are on an unbeaten run. They're 11 matches unbeaten, and they're unbeaten in the season. Mumbai City FC this season, and in Mumbai City FC, I like Shante, another player, another Indian player. So yeah, both of them are my favorite. Remote control account says Jota, Diaz, Nunez, Firmino, all injured. Exactly. That's why they got in That's why you guys got in Gakpo. And yesterday I watched Gakpo actually versus Chelsea, and he was not good actually. He had shooting chances, and they were not even close. They were awful. I was just imagining if Firmino got those chances, he would have at least put one in. So his link up play with Salah was all right, Gakpo and Salah, but the finishing and things like that, it's not there. The pressing intensity has to still learn. I think Luis Diaz being injured was a nail in the coffin for you guys, because Luis Diaz, he is almost as tenacious as Sadio Mane. He offers a goal threat. He offers that aggressiveness. Sadio Mane offered that aggressiveness of taking the ball in from the left wing and going at players. Luis Diaz offers you the same thing. Luis Diaz and Sadio Mane are like players that represent Jurgen Klopp's personality on the pitch. Just like a Rodri represents Pep Guardiola's personality on the pitch, Rico Lewis represents Pep Guardiola's personality on the pitch. So not having both of them, I think, has really hurt you actually. Luis Diaz for me is why Liverpool is down. Once you get Luis Diaz back, I think it will be much better. NB23 says, "Do you know what prime the drink is?" No, I don't. I do not know NB23. I don't understand what you're saying. Remote control account says, "I want to see a front three of Jota, left wing, Nunes centre forward, and Salah right wing." Uh, I would probably think I would have Luis Diaz on the left wing actually, taking Mane's position. I would have Luis Diaz in that front three actually. I remember Luis Diaz playing against us, Porto Champions League. That's the first time, I think 2 seasons back, when I saw Luis Diaz. He dribbled past four of our players. Jack Grealish comes away with the ball. Jack Grealish releases Riyad Mahrez, Kevin De Bruyne. Ah, we needed to make more of that chance, but excellent running from Jack Grealish over there. Very strong running. Rodri. Good shot from Jack Grealish. That is what we want from Jack Grealish. Shots from outside the box. He has a good shot outside the box. Alsta says, nice. Do you like cricket? Yes, I love cricket. Used to watch a lot of cricket before Sachin Tendulkar retired actually. After he retired, like, no, I don't watch cricket as much. I just watch the IPL now. Remote control account says, for white British cricket is more a middle class sport, but I don't know about in India. In India, cricket is like, just have to watch the IPL ones full of stadiums. We are crazy here. In India, if I have to describe what cricket is, in Brazil, you can see visuals of them playing football in muddy grounds and everywhere, right? Bare feet on the roads. It's as crazy or even more crazier in India. If it's a Sunday or a holiday, all of the streets are almost made into little cricket pitches, and in between houses you play cricket, inside houses on the terrace you play cricket. Wherever you see, you're just playing cricket. Sometimes if a road is closed, in the middle of the road you play cricket. It's cricket. We're just crazy about cricket in India. It's almost like Brazil football. Football in Brazil, it's a chance for Gundogan. Chance. Probably wanted the chance to fall to Erling Haaland over there. Good cross from Rico Lewis. Nunes and Salah are quick, but Jota is crafty. And Jota is small, but his heading ability is so underrated, right? And again, Jota, Luis. I actually would love to have Jota, Luis Diaz, and Salah, for example, in your front three, because the tenacity of Jota, the tenacity of Luis Diaz, it's just so underrated. Both of them are so tenacious. It's Adama Traore with the ball, Adama Traore with the ball. Gundogan does extremely well tracking back. Enrico Lewis clears it. Riyad Mahrez tracking. All of the work has been very good today. Just the final ball, the final ball, the final creativity. Like we've been saying all season. Remote control account says, hey, I love the passion. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. NB23 says, my second choice sport to play is rugby. Oh, wow. By the way, where are you from, NB23? Rugby? Wow. I probably guess you might be from the USA or, I mean, Ireland or somewhere from Europe, probably. Because in Asia, I don't. Erling Haaland's through. Ah! Oh, again. Just a heel of. Just a heel of the Wolves player. Otherwise, Haaland was through. This is the second run. The link up between De Bruyne and Haaland is slowly getting back. Good kick from Jose Sa, and don't allow it to bounce. He took a chance, but generally, the first rule is you don't allow it to bounce. Just clear it on the full from a goal kick. Alstas is minus cricket, yeah. Like I actually said before, Sachin retired in 2012-13. I absolutely used to love cricket, but how much I used to love cricket and love Sachin was that I used to know each and every stat of his, like how much is his average, how many balls he's faced, literally everything. Used to rush from school and first how much did Sachin score? That's the first thing you would see. Those days were just superb. Manuel Akanji, I think that's the problem. You ideally want a Kevin De Bruyne on that crossing opportunity and not Manuel Akanji. Traore has no end product at all. If he had an end product, he would surely be playing with Barcelona now. Ah, good shot from Rodri. We are having to take shots from distance, and Pep won't like that shot. It's a good shot from distance, but we need to unlock this Wolves defense somehow. Need to unlock it. If Traore had an end product, he would be in the top wingers. He would be in as demand like a Rafael Leao or even Mudrik. Because everything about Traore's play is almost very good, and well, you would almost say that Raheem Sterling, I won't say equal, but I think Raheem Sterling has a better sense of movement than Adama Traore. The way Raheem Sterling, gets into them attacking spaces, I would say interesting spaces inside the box is something else. NB23 says, I'm from England and I play for Cobham Rugby and Epsom and well, wow, NB23, that is fantastic. So we have a professional rugby player in our midst. Wow. Rugby is almost in Asia and in India in India at least it's almost non-existent, we don't know, and football as well is just coming through now with ISL, the Indian League, Super League, and also in India it's mostly cricket, but now football is just growing up a lot. But rugby is not here, but it's a very physical sport. I've heard rugby, like it's very it's too intense, it's very physical, even more than football. So fantastic that you're playing it. Remote control accounts is breaking news. Traore back to Barcelona with Martin Brathwaite. They were actually I wanted Adama Traore at City 2 seasons back because the success that Pep got with his Navas. Uh, Pep literally turned his Navas into a right back. So I actually thought Traore would be a fantastic right back for City. Has the pace, has the physical attributes, has the control and ability on the ball. So, but it never worked out. Rodri getting the ball. He sprayed it to Jack Grealish. Jack, we need to quicken the approach play. Kevin De Bruyne is left it for Erling Haaland. It's just almost falling and not falling for City. Remote control says rugby is more popular with the middle classes like cricket in the UK. I can see why people like them, but I couldn't connect. We play cricket in school, but not rugby. I didn't know that because that is interesting. But the thing about cricket is actually interesting because you guys have. I mean, people in England have actually started the all of the T20 leagues. They were like the pioneers of the 2020 league, then the T10 league, and everything. So and the history of cricket, at least in India, was that the aristocrats and all of the big people played it. So right now, I think it has changed because English brought cricket to India, and yeah, history tells that the aristocrats and all of them at that time when they were kings, they played. So it's interesting that right now it's mostly the middle class and people who play in England, but in India it's almost like everyone plays cricket. Alsta says you're always so happy. It makes me happy. I'm glad. I'm glad that it's making you happy. Darts is quite interesting actually. Pool, I've always wanted to try pool remote control, but that's a good block. That's a very good block. I've always wanted to try pool, but I couldn't, and I always found darts. I've actually played darts a few times, but I mean in my leisure time, but I never had the accuracy to throw it in the bullseye or stuff like that. My darts literally sometimes they will miss the board as well, and not good accuracy. I didn't have good accuracy at all with darts. But pool is something I've always wanted to try, but I just couldn't. Didn't have the chance to. That's a giveaway from Wolves, and it's Akanji, John Stones, Rico Lewis. He's unpressable. They have bloody pressed him. Riyad Mahrez does well. Wolves are like pressing like crazy, and it's a free kick for City. My other sports that I actually like are cricket. I like football. I like to play badminton. I like chess. Yeah, I like these four actually. Apart from them, I don't like many. I don't like many other things. But yeah, these four and cricket and football are like I really love them. Play pool in pubs over here a lot. Exactly, exactly. But in, in India, not we don't play pool that much. But nowadays, it's actually getting more prevalent. Pool and things like that. At least in India, till at least 3 4 years back, pool snooker was almost like it's it was not a middle class thing. It was people of the higher classes. Not now, but 3 4 5 5 years back, pool and snooker was that. Now it's like getting more and more prevalent. More and more people are playing pool and stuff. So things are changing. Things are changing everywhere. Ricolo is Riyad Mahrez. Riyad Mahrez 1v1. Kevin De Bruyne. Erling Haaland! Erling Haaland! The monster! Wow, what a goal, Erling! Erling Haaland! Who says Kevin De Bruyne and Haaland can't connect? My man! What a goal! The monster left, and there was no one who could challenge the bloody leap. This is Erling Haaland! Haaland! Wow! KDB assist, the most beautiful thing, right? Which all City fans want to see. Which every City fan wants to see. KDB assistant, Haaland goal. How much are we missing these? Before the World Cup, these are just like for fun, right? Haaland and Kevin De Bruyne, a combination. But just look at the leap, because when the ball was tipping, I was literally thinking there's no way Haaland is getting. But look at the leap of the man, leapt at the right time. Wow, that's what Haaland's doing. Wow, Haaland, yes. Remote control accounts is, it's weird how different things are popular and not in other countries. Exactly, exactly. Control account. How one thing is popular in one country, and it's sometimes so bizarre that no one would have even heard about it in another country. But then I think that's what makes, traveling, going to new places beautiful. You get to, exciting. You get to discover new things. You get to experience new things about people. So Riyad Mahrez again. Riyad Mahrez 1v1. Rico Lewis put a ball in. Rico. Rico Lewis should have put a ball in. JSK is here. JSK says Edison out. Why JSK after the Spurs game? I can understand, but kudos to the character of the man. He has come out and apologized. Jack Grealish 1v1. Penalty! Penalty! It's a penalty, right? It's a penalty, right? Is it a penalty? It's a penalty, right? The referee has not given anything, I think, but City players are surrounding him. Let's see it on the replay. It's a penalty. It is a clear penalty. It's got Jack Grealish. It's got Jack Grealish. It's a clear penalty. Alstra says, by the way, if anyone is rude to you on the stream, I've always got you. Thank you. Thank you so much, mate. It's a penalty. I think it's a stone wall penalty, guys. Remote control account says trust Arsenal out. It's a stone wall penalty, right? It's a stone wall penalty. Erling Haaland should take it. Yes, JSK. Erling Haaland should take it. It's a pen, I think. It's a pen. Why is it not a pen? Why is it not a pen? He's clearly got Jack Grealish. Don't know what the referee is all about. Don't know what VR is all about. It is clear pen. Laporte, Jack Grealish. Pen not given, but I thought it was a pen, guys. I thought it was a pen. Me too, and yeah. Thank you so much, NB23. Uh, Remote control account says, I would love to visit India and see the magnificent ancient buildings and other architectures in person. You'll love it. You'll love it. You'll love the food, and you love the fact that many things. I mean, I know that every country is unique and special in its own way, but in India, I'm sure you love that. You love the glitz. You love that with so many people, and you love the sound, you love the brightness, you love the food, you love I'm sure that I'm confident that it's a lot different from it's in England. It's not so quiet like in England, for example. It's most of the time noisy and things like that. You love a lot of things. It's almost like you come to a different world. It's just going to be fascinating. I urge you to at least come come to India at least once. Love it for sure. How is that not a pen? Exactly. I just can't get my head around it. And that too, and VR has come. He's surely wrapped his foot around it. I mean, foot around the player. Collins is wrapped foot around Jack, Jack Grealish. It's surely a pen. See that United's offside goal, this pen. Just don't know what the referee. It's just the referee being shit as usual. Miss those days when Michael Oliver used to referee our games. Akanji does well there. 3 minutes of added time. 17 shots City have had this half. I actually think if that was a pen second goal and we would have been relaxed going into half time. I love Indian food. Indian food is just fantastic, Alsta. Vinay says clear pen was foul on Adama on midway. It was much more clearer than an empty white notebook. It was so clear. Ikai Gundogan, Jack really Jack, bloody shoot, Jack cut inside and shoot, you idiot! Wow, what a shot from Jack! Yes, Jack shot finally. I was so aggressive on Jack Grealish because there were so many times in the previous games that Grealish would cut inside and he wouldn't shoot. But this time he's caught inside, stuffed in, and he shot. I think Gundogan had two options. Probably picked the right one. The shot from Grealish was good actually. The player was on the line. I think it came off the player. But City just tightening the screws right now. Akanji. Come on, let's have one more attack. Let's have one more attack before the break. Riyad Mahrez. Riyad Mahrez. Rodri. Rodri again. Alsta says I don't like English food even though I'm from England. Which cuisine do you like then? Ah, that was so close. That was so close. Which cuisine do you like then, Alsta? And like, did you try Indian cuisine in England, for example? But that is not not at all what you get in India. I mean, the Indian cuisine that you try in England because it's entirely different from India. Remote control accounts is fabulous connection to India though. The Beatles for their interest in Indian spirituality and writings. Some great songs. You'll you'll surely enjoy it. You'll enjoy the adventure, I would say, because it will be an adventure for sure. India and you'll enjoy each part of it. And one thing I can say for sure is by the time your trip in India is finished, you'll you'll feel that something from inside, that sort of a connection, and you'll always want to come back from it. I don't know why that connection happens, but it does happen actually. And another thing is, all of your it's half time. Another thing about India is if you, for example, come and plan an itinerary and say I'll do this on this day, this on this, things don't go according to plan, and that will actually enrich your travel experience even more because if things go as per the plan, as per, for example, the dates you have written in your itinerary or diary, that will be boring. It will be mechanical trip. One of the fascinating things about India is things don't happen that way, and very often you'll find yourselves in exciting situations. I would say something you'll enjoy speaking with people, the food, everything. It's going to be an entire experience in a whole. And another thing is, if you come to India, always do try a trip on bike. Always do a bike trip. That will be an even more fascinating this thing. Travel by bike from places, from one place to another. It will be something else. That experience is Vinay says Collins is coming and it was a penalty, Vinay. And Collins attempted the tackle also. If you see, there was a leg wrapped around Jack Grealish. The only shit argument that the referees will give is they will say the ball was not in control of Jack Grealish. Like the ball was already going out out of play. Grealish was not in control. That's the only thing the ref will say. Just like after that United offside thing, they said that it's the rules. Well, the rule was not that. In the offside rule, there were four clauses which said if it's interfering with play, if it's interfering with play, it's offside, offside, offside. See, there are five rules. You have to give five clauses in a rule. You have to give a decision. If four of the clauses don't satisfy, how can you still give the decision in the opposition's favor? For that offside goal, for example, the referees this season have just been Shit, especially for City. We seriously need Rafael Leao. We seriously need a winger, JSK. It's so obvious. Today it's been much better. Today it's been much better against deep defending teams. We need Rafael Leao, but until then we need Phil Foden. We need a fit Phil Foden. He's already fit, but we need a Phil Foden in form because the only other aggressive winger I think I can think of is Phil Foden that we have because Jack Grealish is sometimes a little bit slow. Riyad Mahrez is a different kind of a winger, he's not that direct one, and I think we need Phil Foden to be back in this team. Otherwise, it's going to be difficult against these Parth the Bus teams. And I'm sure that Arsenal will come in Parth the Bus. Mikel Arteta, you remember how he defeated us in the FA Cup match? In his first season, I think it was 2018 19, 17 18. I think it was that season. How did he defeat us? Parking the bus. Last season, they almost parked the bus. We won against them twice. The second time, they parked the bus. So I'm sure Arsenal will come here and park the bus as well. So I just don't know how we deal with this park the bus teams. Remote control accounts says I would love to see natural India Tigers if possible. they are possible. Remote control account Tigers are there, and tigers are there in the national parks. They are possible. They're possible. Everything is possible, right? From the you have the mountains, the Alps, to the desert, to the snow, to the tropical climate. You have everything in India. All of the things, all of the tropical this thing, all of the conditions you can see in India. All of the terrains I would say you can see in India, right? From a desert to snow to mountains to everything. Remote control account says the mighty Indian tigress that kills crocodiles that threaten their cubs. Yes, yes, you can see it. Alsta says you got three more subs since the stream. You're at 271 now. Thank you, Alsta. Thank you for it. Thank you for pointing it out. Mashi the fearsome tigress. Yes. JSK says, I swear I lose my shit if Leo ends up in Chelsea. There's no way we are gonna mess up a winger again in this summer transfer window. We need a fullback and we need a winger. Remote control account says Siberian tiger versus Ursus maritimus, the swimming bear. That would be interesting. That would be interesting. I've not seen a contest like that. Actually, love bears as well. I love polar bears actually. Remote control account says Himalayas close to. Yes, exactly. Himalayas, if you go to the extreme northern part of India, there are all the mountains and stuff like that. You have snow over there as well. It's just beautiful. It's just beautiful. The snow covered Alps and all of those things. You have the Gir Park in Gujarat where you can see lions. Then you have the Kaziranga Park in Assam where you can see the rhinos. It'll just be a wonderful experience. Chelsea buying everyone. Liao to Chelsea. The news actually is that Chelsea are gonna offload Hakim Ziyech, Christian Pulisic, and who's the other one? And Kai Havertz to apparently to Newcastle. Newcastle wants to buy one or two of them, and then their plan is Mudrik has come now, Maduwiki has come now. Their plan is maybe Rafael Leao as well, and Rafael Leao or another winger. They want to bring another winger, so they want to literally, change their entire front line. So Potter says that this front line is just not good enough actually. So we have to compete with Chelsea, but I think we'll get the Leao deal done. If you have waited so much, we'll get the Leao deal done. I think Pep Guardiola will be the difference. Pep Guardiola's ability to develop young players. Leroy Sané, he's developed him into one of the best wingers in the world. He's developed Kingsley Coman. He's developed Douglas Costa. So he's developed Alexis Sanchez. He's almost developed Pedro. So Pep Guardiola's record will bring us Rafinha actually. By the way, what do you guys think about Maxim Perron? We have signed Maxim Perron yesterday. The deal was completed, and the news is that Maxim Perron will come back to City's first team. I mean, come into City's first team directly after the Under 20 Copa America. So that is actually interesting when I heard that he'll come straight into City's first team. And it's also intriguing that they say he has not been signed into City Football Group. Like generally we sign him into a City Football Group, one of our sister clubs, and then monitor, right? But no, seems that Maxim Peron, they're showing the penalty replay, but it's a clear knock on the back of the leg. It's a clear knock. The more you see it in replay, the more you think that's a pen, guys. The more it's a pen. More it's a pen. I don't know why he's not given it. So the thing is, Maxim Peron has been signed by Manchester City FC and not any City and not City Football Group. Straight into the first team, left-footed central midfielder. Can play attacking as well. I just hope that Pep doesn't have a left back plan with him. I just hope that since Sergio Gomez has not worked out, Pep doesn't play him in the left back position, and possible he could play him in the left back position, and I actually think that might be the plan. He could play him in the left back position and he would tell him to invert just like Rico Lewis, for example, because the guy is a central midfielder. So if you're telling him to invert, he is just playing in that same role that is used to play, right? That is interesting for me. That is very interesting. JSK says they will offer 300 million for Liao next season. See, there are two people we can go for: Rafael Liao or that Napoli winger. Kilvest or something is his name. I just can't pronounce it. So Liao or the Napoli winger. The problem I have with the Napoli winger is Napoli are first of all a hard club to deal with. City are not on good terms with Napoli. So I actually think Liao is a much affordable option. I think if need be, we go toe to toe with Milan for Rafael. Sorry, with Chelsea for Rafael Leao. The thing is, Potter versus Guardiola. It will be Chelsea's transfer team who knows shit versus experienced Dixiki Bagarestan, Ferran Soriano and stuff. I think if we go head to head, we win. But the problem here is Jude Bellingham, who will be our focus next season? Will it be Jude Bellingham? Will it be Rafael Leao? Because if we focus on Jude Bellingham and Chelsea swoop in for Rafael Leao and complete the deal, then what do you do? Or if you focus on Rafael Leao, then someone else, Liverpool, come and complete the deal for Jude Bellingham. What do you do? That will actually be interesting. It will be interesting to see how we move for these players because the timing is very important. Timing is extremely important in a transfer window. Look at Real Madrid. What happened to Real Madrid, for example? They prioritized Mbappe and Haaland came to City. I mean, I'm not saying that he would have gone to Real Madrid anyway, but just look at what happened to Real Madrid. They ended up with, okay, Enrique is a good signing, but timing is actually very important in the transfer window. JSK says, doubt he will choose Conference League over UCL anyway. I mean, I wouldn't say at this point that Chelsea are surely not getting UCL because it's that sense of a season dilemma because every we are thinking this is the general January end of every season, but this season we are it's just the halfway done. If this was an ordinary season, it would be almost 24, 25 games done by now, right? But it isn't. We are 6, 7 games short of an ordinary season. So I think there are lots more points to play for. And I still think that Liverpool can get top four. Liverpool and Chelsea, both of them, if they can put a run together, probably they can challenge for top four. And with Newcastle again, yesterday they dropped the points against Crystal Palace. I saw the match for a while, and what teams are figuring out against Newcastle is if you give them a bit of space, midfield runners like Joe Linton, Willock are just running through. But if you defend deep against them, Newcastle are finding it extremely difficult. If you defend deep, Newcastle are like almost they're finding it extremely difficult to break. They don't have that creative this thing in the midfield actually. So they have runners, but they don't have creativity in the midfield. So I don't know. And with Manchester United, they are in this run of form. They might just drop off in the next. So I actually think that top four race is still open. It's still open. It's just halfway of the season because Pressure will mount, injuries will be there this season. Once Europa League starts, will United prioritize Europa League or the Premier League, for example? Lot of things to play for actually, lot of situations. That's why I always say that this season is unlike any other season. This season is entirely different. No one can actually predict it, what will happen. Remote control account says Boli should have given Tuchel this cash. I actually think remote control account. The truth is, Boli was not impressed by Thomas Tuchel's style of play. Actually, I mean, not just Boli, but the players as well. Could already sense that the players were losing the dressing room with Thomas Tuchel. There's this thing: Thomas Tuchel, Antonio Conte, and Jose Mourinho as well. The reason they have these short spurts is because they have a defined style of play. Tuchel, for example, three at the back, 3-5 through, 3-5-2, Conte 3-4-3, Jose Mourinho sit back and defend and stuff like that. Players get bored, You played that rigid system and you won the bloody Champions League, and now the players realize you're not winning the bloody Premier League by playing that system. There's no way. I think the players threw in the towel under Thomas Tuchel, and for Spurs as well, the players are throwing in the towel for Antonio Conte. Hong-Min Son, why is he so quiet? Hong-Min Son is bored over there. Harry Kane is bored over there, doing the dog work for a team that is literally defending with six at the back. And why do we want Harry Kane also to come inside and make it seven in the midfield? Spurs players are bored. That's why Guardiola is, taking, for example, taking chances with the formation. That's why he refreshes things. Otherwise, the players get bored after winning things. I think the players were bored of the style of play of Tuchel and they just gave in the tunnel. It is so horrific watching, to be fair, Thomas Tuchel, that rigid three at the back, three at the back, three at the back grind. JSK says, Halsta says, great. I think he's good. He's actually very good, Rafinha. I actually want Rafinha with City, Halsta. JSK says, unless we need left back more than that kid. The reason he's bought in that kid is he plays that Bernardo Silva role. Though under Pep, I don't know what role you play, but generally he plays that Bernardo Silva role. He's left footed and everything. This could be and they're having contract extension talks with Ilkay Gundogan actually. So I actually think that Bernardo Silva might leave. Bernardo Silva might actually leave this summer, and I think that might be a hint. And we might get Jude Bellingham and Maxim Perron might be there as well to cover for Gundogan, who will eventually leave. For example, is getting old. Maybe after the next season. Remote control account says Liverpool's best shot of CL is to win it, and I still think remote control that. I mean, this Liverpool team, I still think that you guys are capable of putting a run together. It's just that few things need to come together, and also I think that from you're tired from last season, the intensity with which you played last season, the press and all of that stuff. See, losing the Premier League title last season was not what hurt you, because you did extremely well to be in the Premier League title race, because in January what City were 5, 6, even 8 points ahead and you guys came back. But what hurt you the most last season was losing to Real Madrid. I mean, it hurt City fans. It hurt us the most actually. After that match, it was almost 3:30 a.m. here in India. And after that match, I just went out and I looked at the skies. Unknowingly, looked at the stars, the dark sky for 10 minutes. I literally didn't know what I was doing. How the hell did we lose that match? I presume Liverpool fans also had the same feeling actually. After because Courtois was a superhuman that day. On balance of play, Liverpool deserved to win the Champions League, at least if we are fair. So Real Madrid had literally one chance and they scored. So I think that defeat hurt you. That Champions League defeat hurt you last season. NB23 says Camavinga to Arsenal may be good or bad. Very bad, NB23. Extremely bad. I do not want Camavinga in that midfield of Mikel Arteta. No. Just imagine Odegaard, Camavinga. No, no, no. Never. See, France, Argentina. Why do you think France came back into that game when the World Cup final seemed done? Camavinga. Why do you think, I mean, where do you think City, Real Madrid game in the second leg Champions League last season changed? After the introduction of Eduardo Camavinga, the guy is an excellent ball winner. The guy is just something else. So never want Camavinga, and I don't think Real Madrid will leave him because Champions League is coming. Real Madrid are not fools. And why would Camavinga want to come and play in the Europa League? Okay, Arsenal are fighting for the title, but why would Camavinga play in the Europa League, for example, when he has a chance to win the Champions League again with Real Madrid? Nothing. The ball was a little overhead, but seems like Wolves are attacking in a two formation. I mean, Wolves are having two strikers up front. Edison playing out from the back. Kevin De Bruyne, Akanji, just clear it, bloody hell. That's what Akanji has done. Real Erling Haaland, that's a foul on Erling Haaland. That's a foul. Remote control account says Ancelotti was Everton boss. That didn't last long, right? Everton, I don't know. Have Everton are again an example of a club that if things went well could have gone places, but they had rich owners, but they had wrong managers, and I think was it Louis Van Gaal? Not Louis Van Gaal. I think there was a Dutch manager which Everton appointed. What was his name? Ronald Koeman. Ronald Koeman actually spoiled everything for Everton. He bought in a lot of midfielders with the money the owners gave him, spent a lot and bought in some shit midfielders, and that was the end of Everton. Now they're facing relegation, and Everton had a stadium expansion plan and all right, but you look at it, one personal in charge is bad and the entire club can come crumbling down in its roots. And that's why it's kudos to City that at every stage we have gone on and we have appointed the right people. Mancini, Pellegrini, Pep Guardiola. The decision making of our management has just been wonderful. Adama Traore with the ball. Adama Traore. Ah, that's good defending, but wasn't it offside? No, it's a corner for Wolves. Remote control account says Klopp has a chance to make amends with Jota and VVD back hopefully. Virgil van Dijk also hasn't looked the player he is, right? He has made a lot of mistakes. People are able to dribble past him this season. It's a corner we have to defend, guys. We need to defend this corner well. Nothing Ake does well there. Rodri. Ah, the ball to Kevin De Bruyne was cut out. And now a break is on for City. Erling, De Bruyne has to play that ball. Ah, he's missed it. There was a great chance for De Bruyne to play that ball to Erling Haaland. I don't know why De Bruyne didn't play it. It probably didn't spot him, but that's where. Jack Grealish. Jack Grealish does well. Ah, De Bruyne really had to play that ball. Riyad Mahrez. Armin Laporte. Nathan Ake. That's a penalty. That's a penalty. It's a penalty. Finally, justice. Justice done. Justice done, guys. It's a penalty. Remote control account says Jota on Real's case. Hungry after injury. That tie will just be superb. That tie will just be superb. Real Madrid against Liverpool. NB23 says, what do you think of Mitrovic? It's a penalty, right? Or has he not given it? Yes, it's a penalty. I mean, I like Mitrovic, but his finishing is very good. But Mitrovic has improved from the last time he's been in the Premier League. From the last time he's been in the Premier League, I thought, when was that with West Brom? I don't remember. Or with Newcastle. He was with Newcastle the last time. And he was inconsistent and stuff. But right now he's improved it. I'm holding on to my lucky bottle here. And it's Erling Haaland with the penalty. Erling! Haaland doesn't miss! Erling! The celebration's back! Erling Haaland, wow! I mean, guys, the thing is, look at the poise in his eyes when he's taking the penalty. The poise in his eyes is something else. The poise, the way the guy has put the ball on the ground, the poise in his eyes. You just knew he was going to score before he even kicked it. That poise, that that feeling when someone is taking a penalty is what you missed in the past. And Erling Haaland, just look at it. Down the middle he puts it, but just look at the way he's gone, the pace on the penalty. It's just wow, Erling Haaland. Wow. His pace, exactly, Alsta, his pace. Vinay says, how did we get pen? The Wolves player actually dragged Gundogan down. He dragged Gundogan down. So that's a penalty. Ake played in Gundogan and the Wolves player dragged him down. City are now on to Wolves like there is no tomorrow. Nathan Ake does well there. Halster says Bellingham next KDB. No, Bellingham I think is the next. He's not even a Busquets kind of a player. Who do you describe Bellingham to? I mean, he's a good box to box player, but he's probably, I would say, the next Xabi Alonso. He's passing the range and everything like that. I think the next Xabi Alonso. And by the way, I think one of you guys was asking in the comments, who do you think could be the next high-profile Spanish manager coming into the Premier League? I actually think not now, but maybe 2 years down the line, a big club, Xabi Alonso could be coming in because he's been doing well in Germany. Manuel Akanji, Riyad Mahrez, Kevin De Bruyne, Jack Grealish to the second ball. Jack. Side netting. Mahrez should have just. The only thing Mahrez needed to do was like against Spurs, the second goal, he just needed to square it to Erling Haaland and it was 3-0. Vinay says good from Pep. Rico was feeling the heat. Those Pep's comments have literally, lifted everybody. They've lifted the players. They've literally lifted the entire. You could say they've lifted the entire club. I mean, why did he make a substitution in the at halftime? I literally have no idea. Is there any injury? But actually, now we see him even more threatening with the substitution with Nathan Ake coming in. Kevin De Bruyne, Riyad Mahrez, Kevin De Bruyne. Trade back to Bruyne ball. Almost found Erling Haaland. This is what we were missing till now. Wow. Yeah, and Vinay, I also think that Pep needs Rico Lewis for that Arsenal game in the FA Cup. He's not taking that Arsenal game in the FA Cup lightly. So I think he's thinking he needs Rico there, and Rico is just playing almost every match, right? So Erling hat trick, Erling Haaland hat trick. Erling Haaland hat trick, three goals, and they were saying he's on a goal drought. Erling Haaland. See, I mean, the best thing about this goal is the hunger, the desire, the passion to press. We have pressed goals out of their oxygen. Even if someone was on a ventilator and he would still be suffocated with that press. The press on this goal, if you ask me, this was the goal that would have actually satisfied Pep the most because the press, the desire, everything. Just look at the press there. The press was just. Look at that. The press from Riyad Mahrez. He was shadow covering one and he was pressing another. The press, the angle of the press was so good that Joseph was left with no options. The press is just wonderful. Erling Haaland does the rest. Credit to Mahrez, exactly. Credit to Mahrez that he passed. I actually think this could be our best front three. Probably with Foden on the left. And not Grealish, because Grealish I mean, you could actually argue that this front three could work because we as fans were going against this front three, right? Grealish, Mahrez, and Haaland, and right now it seems to be working. And I think the reason it's working is I think Grealish has become more aggressive. Mahrez has become more aggressive. When it was not working, what was happening is Mahrez tucking inside, Grealish tucking inside, both of them so labored on the ball, so complacent on the ball. But right now it's almost like Mahrez is like, I want to take on the man. Grealish is like, I want to bloody get into the box and shoot. So I think it's the aggressiveness of the wingers. When the wingers are aggressive, I think Haaland works. The system with Haaland, system with Mahrez, with Grealish works. Alsta says is a robot. Remote control accounts as Beatles in my life. Yes, credit to Mahrez Vinay. Remote control accounts is when you win the European Cup or Champions League for fifth time, you get a real European Champions Cup. Barca and Bayern have one as well. I didn't know. I didn't know that. And hopefully, regarding the Champions League, hopefully this season it will go well for us. Yeah, Toure famously has lifted the curse. I think it will go well for us. Remote control accounts is Bayern on 6-2, the Germans. Istanbul for Liverpool FC. Phil Foden sitting there, he's not even in the team sheet actually. Pep Guardiola still reflecting. Pep Guardiola still thinking about certain aspects of the game. Natanake, what is that shit passing? Pass back to Ederson. Kevin De Bruyne, Manuel Akanji, Istanbul Rafa Benitez. The remote control account that talk about Istanbul Rafa Benitez is they say that at half time when you guys were trailing 3-0 or something, right? Against that AC Milan team which had Maldini and all of those people, they say that Steven Gerrard pushed Rafa Benitez out of the dressing room, and it was Steven Gerrard who took the team talk. And that's the credit is to Rafa Benitez as well, but they say that everything was taken over by Steven Gerrard back then. That was something which I found interesting. But again, what a clash that was, right? Liverpool was strong. AC Milan were very strong. There was Shevchenko who was playing at his peak. There was Kaka. There was Dudek for AC Milan. Maldini was there. Baresi was there. I think it was just a heavyweight clash. Vinay says, "What isn't that our midfield and attack need young players to press effective? That's why Pep wants back three with Rico inverted. Rico is so important. Vinay, I think that's the reason why he's actually bringing in Maxim Perron as well. I think left-footed central midfielder, box to box, and I think he's going to play him left back and he's going to invert him into the midfield just like Rico Lewis. I think it's also to give rest to Rico Lewis. Probably sometimes you play Maxim Perron on the left, invert. He can play Walker on the right. Who does the normal thing? Sometimes you can play Ake or Laporte on the left, like he did today, and he can ask Rico Lewis to invert. And also inversion is so important because now since our Julian Alvarez is coming in, inversion is important because since we don't have a false nine right now, you're getting overnumbered in the midfield, and I think if you don't invert, Rodri is actually getting isolated. So, which means we are so susceptible to transitions than before. So I actually think that Kevin De Bruyne as well to get the ball playing Erling Haaland. I think that's a great ball, Riyad Mahrez. The tackle from the back was good, but I just felt why he didn't release it earlier. Why he didn't release the ball earlier? I don't know. Yeah, so I actually think it's transitions. It's transitions. Pep is damn scared of transitions. I mean, whenever Pep prepares a team right now, I think Pep looks at what happened at Newcastle. for us 3-3 if you remember. Pep doesn't want us to be that open. And why did the 3-3 happen? Because of midfield runners. Joelinton was making great runs from the midfield. Bruno Guimaraes was making great runs. So I think to prevent a repeat of that, I think Pep really wants to have. And in Rico Lou is there. And the second thing is, if Haaland is not dropping, then who links the midfield in the attack? Because you literally want your KDB and you want your Gundogan to stay high and wide in the number 10 roles. So who is linking your attack and play? So either Rodri can go forward a bit or Rico can invert and go forward. So it links attack and defense, prevents you from transitions. I think this will be very helpful in the Champions League. Remote control accounts is Rafa the Gaffer. The AC Milan team was obscenely gifted. It was Gattuso on Gerrard. It was just a scary team. And Shevchenko was just scary at that time, right? He was one of the scariest goal scorers at that time. Kaka was scary with Shevchenko and Cafu. That was a legendary team, actually. That was a legendary team, that AC Milan team. But the Liverpool team also had some good players, I would say. Haaland off, Julian Alvarez on. Everything's just going well for Pep in this game. It's just going perfectly. Pep would have planned the game. This is how it would be. Assists for De Bruyne, goals for Haaland. Take Haaland off roundabout an hour mark. Wonderful, right? And Haaland has almost had a perfect hat trick, right, today. Did he header, left footed, right footed? Did he score the last goal with the right foot? Probably yes, I don't know, but Haaland I think has had a perfect hat trick today. Maldini scored as well, and Crespo killed us first half before Didi Hamann came on to get the trophy. And like I remember, I think when it was 3-3, I think there was a point blank chance for AC Milan, and I think it just hits the Liverpool goalkeeper, right? The Liverpool goalkeeper didn't know anything about it, and after that, you just knew that it was Liverpool's trophy. It was an open goal, and I think the header was planted. I don't remember the player who did it, but the header, I think it was Shevchenko, and the header from Shevchenko was straight on the Liverpool goalkeeper. So good cross. That's a great block from Nathan Ake. Fantastic block from Nathan Ake. How is that a handball? Vinay says Grealish needs goals or assists now. At least I'm happy that he is. At least I'm happy that he is. He is at least shooting. They're appealing for a handball here. Well, that's not a handball. Come on, the pace with which the ball was stuck. That's surely not a handball, and Ake didn't know anything about it. Look at it. Ake was blocking it. It is surely not a handball. It's a corner. The right decision, I would say. I'm actually happy with the progression Grealish is actually showing because he's cutting inside, a little bit more aggressive. He's been attempting shots from outside the box. Is it's been two dimensional, not just slowing the game down. If you observe in the earlier games, we're just slowing the game down, but in this game, Jack Grealish has been like he's taking on his man or he's just passing the ball back. He's not in that middle kind of a region where he's taking the ball and trying to do some stupid skill. So Jack Grealish for me, you can already see the improvement in him. It's just that I want him to be even more aggressive. That's all. And his defensive work has also improved a lot. Eddie, release the ball fast. Yes, Jack Grealish on the ball as we talk of him right now. Jack Grealish, Nathan Ake, Manuel Akanji, Kevin De Bruyne. Oh my god, I've not changed the score. It's 3-0. Jack Grealish, Jack Grealish. Look at the decision making from Jack Grealish. It's just so quick, right? The difference from earlier on and now is just so apparent in this phase of play. So apparent is how quickly he's released the ball and is off. Pass and move, pass and move. That's what Pep would have been telling him since all this time. Vinay says no hand. I mean, even if there was hand, Vinay, Kevin De Bruyne, Riyad Mahrez, Riyad scores. But is it offside? Mahrez is not off. Mahrez is not off. Mahrez is not off. Mahrez is not off. They'll go to VAR, I think, to check it. But Mahrez is not off. I'm very sure Mahrez is not off here. Mahrez is not off. Riyad Mahrez is not off. He's clearly onside. Mahrez is clearly onside. Now, if they draw those geometrical lines, off given, but he's, I mean, to the naked eye, it seemed onside, right? I mean, if they draw those geometrical lines from his shoulder, sleeve, and stuff, I don't know. Oh, it's given offside, but to the naked eye, it just seemed that Mahrez was onside. Jimmy Traore and Steven Fennan. Even Jamie Carragher was there in that match, I think, right? Liverpool AC Milan. Alsta says it was coming. Haaland hat trick. It was coming. It was just a matter of when. And because Haaland is not someone who is even used to not scoring a goal for 1, 2 matches. Haaland would have been fuming and he would have been wanting to get on the score sheet as quickly as he can. But so Haaland now has 4 goals in the last 4 games, effectively, you would say. So Rod done in one game. He just replied back to all of his haters. Hand is off, okay, Vinay. Hand is off. That's what I thought. Probably the shoulder would, but I find that rule silly actually. The offside rule. Hand is off, but you're not using your hand to score a goal, right? I've never found that argument to be valid. And Kevin De Bruyne again smashing the ball. Kevin De Bruyne. Ah, would have fancied De Bruyne to curl his foot around. Wolves are on a break now. Wolves are on a break. Cover the center. Cover the center, John. Cover the center. Cover the center. What a save from Ederson. Good reach. I know Podence didn't get power behind it, but look at it. Look at it. Look at the threat of transition now. Now that Rico Lewis is not there, look at how Wolves are actually breaking on us. Because if I know Akanji was there in the center, but if Rico Lewis was there, Rodri would not have been isolated there, and Wolves have not been able to break. First half, zero transitions from Wolves. Literally zero transitions from Wolves. So that's the importance of inverted fullback in Rico Lewis. Remote control account says Stevie Warnock from Onsnik is in the Istanbul 2005 CL winning squad. Was he? Stevie Warnock, is it the same Warnock who is a manager now of one of the championship clubs? I don't know. Carragher is from Boodle like me by the docks. Okay, okay, that is interesting. That is interesting. And by the way, they say that Jamie Carragher was, I don't know how true it is, but they say that Jamie Carragher was from, he trained in an Everton, he trained in the Everton Academy or something like that. Or he's from that side. What is the fact about that? What is the relationship between Jamie Carragher and Everton? Can you please tell? Remote control account if you know. Because I've heard there is some relation between Carragher and Everton. He trained there as a young kid or whatever it is, but I never sort of got to know the entire story or the truth behind it. Natanake is defending well, but transitions are a bit of a worry if there is no Rico Lewis. Joao Moutinho with the corner. Kevin De Bruyne, Kevin De Bruyne. I just thought that he had the ball, but Riyad Mahrez comes out with the ball and Julian Alvarez, Jack Grealish, almost Jack Grealish was on it. This is turned into an end-to-end game now, and there's still a lot of game to play. There's still 20 minutes to play. I think we can actually add to our goal difference here. That's a foul on Ilkay Gundogan, and Joe Martin had to foul him. Otherwise, Alvarez and Kevin De Bruyne were actually through. Uh, Warnock works for Sky like Carragher. Okay. It's interesting. I didn't know that because whenever I've seen the pundits on Sky, I know Carragher works for Sky, Gary Neville, and all of your others. You know, Micah Richards, Graham Souness, and stuff. But I didn't know Warnock works for Sky. Wolves are trying to get the. I mean, if they get the first goal, I think momentum can swing in this kind of a games. Momentum is the key still. Julian Alvarez with the ball. Alvarez does well, but look at it, the way he gets the ball back, the technical ability of Julian Alvarez is wonderful. By the way, remote control account. What do you think of Julian Alvarez? Because whenever I see Julian Alvarez, I always Kevin De Bruyne. Because whenever I see Julian Alvarez, I see a Roberto Firmino in him, in kind of pressing and all of that stuff. The intensity of the press, the way he holds the ball up, the technical ability. Because for me, I think one of the best false nines in recent years is Roberto Firmino. All round his finishing, his link up play, everything. And I actually see Julian Alvarez going to that level. Already has shades of that level. What do you think about Julian Alvarez and his comparisons with Roberto Firmino? He was left back Warnock. There was a manager called Neil Warnock. Neil Warnock was the one I'm actually talking about. He was up with Cardiff City, I think, right? They were relegated last season, I think, probably. That's Neil Warnock. Yeah. You're right. And probably still is a massive bell and cause that's for life. Julian Alvarez has to finish. Couldn't finish. Julian Alvarez thought he had got himself a goal. But yeah, do let me know remote control account about Julian Alvarez. He was offside, Julian Alvarez, but comparison between Julian Alvarez and Roberto Firmino. And what do you think Cody Gakpo, Roberto Firmino? Is Cody Gakpo kind of a player like Roberto Firmino? Because that's the kind of player Klopp is searching for to do the pressing and stuff for him. Riyad Mahrez with the corner in. That's defended well. It's defended very well. Transition, guys, transition. Grealish does extremely well to get the ball. Grealish defensive work rate has just been out of this world. It has just been wonderful. Jack Grealish. There's definitely been an urgency in Jack Grealish play. There's definitely been an improvement. There's that sense of, accelerating things, getting on with things. I would say that's the putting the pedal through the throat. That's what Jack Grealish is king at. Because last season, even before World Cup, also this season, he's been scared of losing the ball and stuff. Now he's like, I'll dribble. It doesn't matter if I lose the ball. And his decision making has just improved so much. He's been himself. Kanji, Kevin De Bruyne. De Bruyne has also been very good this game. I know he's not up to his best, otherwise Haaland would have had two more goals easily. But he was better than the United game. Vinay says both Klopp and Pep won't like Haaland or Nunes profile players. But Vinay, do you actually remember Darwin Nunes? We were tracking Darwin Nunes sort of, in that 18-19 season when we were actually looking at a replacement for Aguero, and we were tracking him quite early on, and there were reports that we would even get him as well because he he likes to link up play actually well. So actually think Nunes link up play is better than Haaland at this stage. Finishing of Haaland is definitely supreme, but the link up play of Nunes and the work rate is a little bit more better of Nunes. I actually think that's why we were actually tracking him, and then we didn't go for him for some reason. I don't know why. But Alvarez, I think, is someone both Pep and Klopp would actually have liked. Remote control account says if FHG can lend some money to help our beleaguered and elderly midfield, we can have a better second half of the season. I'm actually surprised that you guys didn't go for Enzo Fernandez because there were so many rumors that you would be having Enzo Fernandez out by now. I mean, I can understand FSG's point of view that they want to go for Jude Bellingham, but it could backfire. For example, if Liverpool don't get Champions League this season, why would a Jude Bellingham want to come to Liverpool, for example? Why would even an Enzo Fernandez want to come without a Champions League? So I actually think that could have a detrimental effect. So it's, but I actually think you lot should have bought an Enzo Fernandez. That would have just helped the midfield so much. Fabinho looks lost. Actually, Fabinho looked lost, and also I think after Gini Wijnaldum has gone, you guys didn't look the same old self, right? Because Gini Wijnaldum was such an influence in that midfield. Was not the most creative, but he sort of he was strong in withstanding the opposition transitions. His defensive work, the work rate of Gini Wijnaldum, it literally covered up for one or two of your attacking players. It covered up for Salah and stuff like that. So, and it covered up for even Trent. And I think Henderson covered up for Trent a lot. And Wijnaldum also covered up for your attacking players. Now Henderson has not been able to do that, and Trent is just having bad defensive days. People who blame Trent, I don't agree with them because Trent was always like that. Like from the start, he was not good defensively, but Henderson or the other midfield was covering up for him. Now they don't just have the legs to cover up for him, so that's why Trent is getting exposed. Vinay says they would rather want Alvarez. Alvarez is a steal, actually. Wonderful business. And David Moyes, surprisingly, in an interview, I think a week ago, said he had the chance to sign Alvarez for West Ham. One of United's sources were saying United have. I mean, Ragnick was actually saying, not sources. Ragnick was saying that he proposed Alvarez name to United, and United scouts apparently thought that he was not good enough. So, wonderful piece of business by City, actually. Bernardo Silva, that's a throw into Wolves. Remote control account says we can't afford Bellingham or Enzo Fernandez. Right, Enzo Fernandez price has also gone up right after the World Cup. Is they're now telling that we have to pay around about 80-90 million pounds for Enzo Fernandez. But it's interesting that Enzo Fernandez was a player even City was tracking, and I think we thought we'll have him this summer. We could have just had him for around 30-40 million pounds. So actually, there was news that River Plate was insisting that you take both Alvarez and Enzo Fernandez in the same deal. It's just that City made it a bit more complex and we detached both the transfers. I think Enzo Fernandez to City would not have been good at this point of time, the start of this season, because look at our midfield options: De Bruyne, Bernardo Silva, Calvin Phillips coming in, Gundogan, potentially a Jack Grealish can play there. Rumors of Cole Palmer sometimes, also being deployed in the midfield. So I don't. Pep thought he was well stocked in the midfield area. Remote control icons. Genie was always fit to play, hardly ever injured, but we are too poor to have kept Genie. Wage demands, right? And I mean, both the players is struggling and the club has also struggled a bit. Jack Grealish cutting inside. Jack Grealish still holding on to the ball. Give it to Riyad. Give it to Riyad. Give it to Riyad. Bernardo Silva. Calvin Phillips trying looking to shoot. Ah, Gundo! That should have been your goal, Gundo. That should have been your goal. Open header, Gundogan. Wow, Gundo. That should have been the goal for Gundo, right? That should have been a goal for Gundo. So both Genie struggled. I mean, I was watching a couple of years back when he went to PSG. Uh, Genie was just struggling. Genie was Wijnaldum was just struggling a lot, and I just felt bad for him. I mean, I can understand the financial part. He wanted to go, but he was such a handing glove fit for Klopp's team. And Klopp thought Naby Keita would Cole Palmer's coming on, but Klopp thought Naby Keita would come through, but Naby Keita, and I think Naby Keita being a flop also has affected Liverpool. If Naby Keita lived up to his expectations, they called him the next Yaya Toure or something like that. You would not have missed Genie Wijnaldum, but Naby Keita is hardly ever fit, and whenever he's by the time he regains the rhythm, is injured. So certain things in midfield didn't go well for Liverpool actually. The injury to Curtis Jones when he was actually in good form, I think last season or the season before that, I don't remember. The foot injury which ruled Curtis Jones out. So midfield has been unlucky for Liverpool, I would say. Gundo open miss exactly when he was holding the post. I thought he should have scored that. That ball was very well worked. Daft exorbitant price for what he is, and also PSG took what's his name? There was a similar profile under Herrera. PSG also took Ander Herrera from United, right, for a free. I don't know why they wanted both Herrera and Gini Wijnaldum. Ederson was wrong-footed over there. Took a slight deflection from Podence as well, I think. Money grab, exactly, PSG, and they're not winning anything. Thing with PSG is, I don't know why they're not able to realize it. We have had some rants on this channel as well about PSG lot of times. The thing with PSG is they don't realize that football, they don't realize that trophies and all of these can't be won just with money. I don't know why they don't realize that fact. To win a trophy, to win a football competition, it's the team spirit, the comradeship, all of that plays much big factors than money. So you can put together a team of superstars, and I guarantee that a team like Brighton, who, for example, if they can gel well and have a good team spirit, can defeat them. So, team spirit is the most difficult thing in football, and it's not buying players, putting together a mega rich team. And until the day PSG realizes it, until the day PSG drop their ego and realizes this fact, they will win shite. They will not even win French league easily. Good tackle, excellent tackle there from Calvin Phillips. Vinay says, to be honest, I don't rate Cole Palmer. He's very selfish. I think Cole Palmer is a bit into his shell. He generally lays balls off, but he's in his shell that if I don't make the best of this match, I might not get opportunities later. Mahrez is in great form. Bernardo Silva can play my role. Foden has to come back. So if I don't perform now, I'll not get my role. I think Palmer is a little bit afraid, I would say, because the seasons prior, last season before, that curling goal against Swindon Town, for example, the way he is linking up play, the way he has scored goals for us in the Carabao Cups in the previous seasons. Palmer, I think, has the technical ability, just doesn't have the confidence. And Jack Grealish in a foot race, Jack Grealish gets there, Jack Grealish gets there. Jack Grealish does extremely well, but he gives the ball away, attempts a cross and gives the ball away. Remote control accounts is Arsenal to win, I hope. I think we missed a comment in between. Let us see what is it. Yeah, Vishal was asking what do you think will happen to United Arsenal game. I honestly don't know, Vishal, because United are our rivals, and for the title race, we don't want Arsenal to win at all. Arsenal to win. I mean, I probably would settle for a draw with points dropped. But with regards to title race, do I want United to win? Because last season when Liverpool were chasing City as well, I never wanted bloody United to win against Liverpool. It was okay with Liverpool winning against United because, and especially after how they won against us, I'm still better on United. I bloody can't sit here and say that I want United to win. Instead, I would say let us deal with Arsenal in the two games that we have. So none of the results seem well for me. Probably a draw, but I bloody don't want United to get anything from that game, especially of what happened in the derby and the cruel way in which we were our points were snatched. So no result is a good result for me. This United Arsenal game. VAR will decide United Arsenal. Vinay says VAR decided United Arsenal the last time, I think, right? Arsenal scored a goal and VAR told it was not a goal. Arsenal's first goal. But Wolves on the break. Let us keep a clean sheet here, guys. Let us keep a clean sheet. Well done, very well done, Laporte. Wonderful defending from Laporte. What do you guys think of Laporte's performance today? For me, impressive, very impressive for me. I think Laporte needs to start more games. Laporte was I was very impressed. I'm very impressed with Laporte. Laporte Akanji actually look good. Look good. Stones Akanji also look good, but Laporte Akanji left foot, right foot. I think it just looks ominous. It's a corner in from Wolves and City defended well. Nathan, Nathan just go to the ball. Nathan Ake 1v1 is defended extremely well. Ball inside and it's gone out. Hey, hey, verbosity with remote control icons. Manchester United above Liverpool is a horrendous state of affairs with a gargantuan amount of hideousness involved. You could not have put that statement much better. I can sense that. I would not use the word hate, but I can sense that, rivalry, that sense of bitterness that United is up. That rivalry is always there. Like how we do not want United to get anything from the game today. When Liverpool were chasing, like I said, I didn't want United to get anything. When they played Liverpool, United three times Euro Kings, half of Liverpool and three Europa Leagues too, and only two big European trophies, Manchester United and City. McAtee is doing bits at Sheffield United, Vinay says. McAtee will be an interesting, but I fear for McAtee, Vinay, because where is the space for McAtee? Now we have signed Maxima Perron. So, literally, let me count the midfield options. We have Maxima Perron, Gundogan, Bernardo Silva, Kevin De Bruyne. If a winger comes, you potentially could put a Jack Grealish or Foden in there. So, literally, five spaces are occupied. So, where is the space for McAtee? This is the thing I feared because McAtee is such a talent. The same thing I fear for Oscar Bob. Just look at what Oscar Bob is doing in the academy. Just look at what Oscar Bob has been doing in the academy for the last 3 4 years. So I mean, the only thing we can wish for is, to be honest, the, our EDS and all of our youth players actually they do well. It can be at City or it can be somewhere else. The wonderful thing and the difference between Chelsea and City is Chelsea want to stockpile these youth players and they want to keep sending them out on loans. But what City do is if they think that the player is not good enough, for example, to play for City, they don't even loan him actually. They just release him and see what happened with Jadon Braff, what happened with Jadon Sancho is another example, but other players, Romeo Lavia, so they honestly send him out and wish him a good career. So that's one thing I really love about City. One of the academy coaches also said we want them to have a good career. Could be at City, could be at somewhere else. We want them to play good football and have a good career. The ethos is fantastic from City, and that's a wonderful touch. Riyad Mahrez, Bernardo Silva in there, Bernardo. I think he can just pass it back to Gundogan, but no. He sat the man up and my video started buffering. Cole Palmer. Cole Palmer does well. The dribble's fantastic from Cole Palmer. He's left the ball. Nathan Ake. Jack Grealish managed this phase of play well. Alstar. I think Man City will win the UCL. Hands jinxed Alstar. We do not know when the year will be. Felt extremely bad in each of our upsets from the knockout stages, like last year before that in the final, before that the exit to Lyon, that was extremely painful. Raheem Sterling open goal miss. I mean, every year the exit has been painful since Pep came, right? The exit to Monaco, the exit to Liverpool, the exit to Lyon, the exit to Tottenham, the exit to Chelsea, the exit last year to Madrid. So many daggers the Champions League has given us, so many daggers in our heart that it's now hard to keep account. Vinay says, I think Pep will be eager to include Peron. I mean, it's been said straight away that he'll come straight back into the first team. I think Pep wants Peron in the Champions League, especially to protect against those transitions and stuff like that. Especially in this schedule, you can't expect Rico Lewis to, for example, you have a tough schedule Arsenal and then a big Champions League game. It will be difficult. Or another important tie in the Champions League game, it will be difficult for Lewis to play everything, right? I think the left back is still a conundrum for Pep Guardiola. Left footed player Peron, midfielder, were extremely creative, one of the upcoming creative talents in Europe, so should be able to put a ball in as well. So I think he will actually be suited in that left back position. Since he's a attack box to box midfielder, I think he have those defensive attributes already in him. So I actually think that Peron is a weapon down Pep's sleeve. United's transition is our weakness. Some of our players are aged, don't have legs. Rico Lewis is the answer to it, Vinay. I think Rico Lewis is definitely the answer. Because against Spurs, literally no transitions. Rico Lewis played. See, one transition that Perisic missed an open goal almost. Rico Lewis blocked, right? If you look at how did that transition happen? Because Rico Lewis was overlapping, if you see then, and not coming into the midfield. So actually, I think whenever Rico Lewis is underlapping, his cutting in, we're hardly conceding any transitions, no transitions at all. Now, I think ideally what Pep can do is he brings in Maxi Peron and he puts him on the left. And now will we see both of them invert inside with Rodri? So that will almost create a structure of two defenders, three in front of them, 2-3-2-3-3-3, something like that. 2-3-3-2, something like that, probably. That's well blocked. Yes, yes, remote control. RB Leipzig. City drew RB Leipzig for the Champions League tie, and the game well done. Yes, it's full time, and I think it's a victory which we needed. A victory which we needed to earn, and not just any other way, to earn in a way that the manager wanted us to earn it. Like he said in the press conference, he was not happy. For example, we earned a victory against Spurs, but we did not quite earn it in the way he wanted, with the control, for example. So Pep will be very happy with this, because how many transitions did Wolves have today? One, I think I can remember one at the most. That's it. One transition. The way we control the game, the way Rico Lewis came inside and he set the tempo, the way Mahrez and De Bruyne interchanged. De Bruyne many times against Liverpool, for example, against United was so static that you literally knew he would stand in the corner there to put a cross in. But today, both Mahrez and De Bruyne were interchanging. The part I liked the most was Jack Grealish and his aggressiveness with the ball. His decision making was so fast. He went and he was driving at defenders. If he saw that they were doubling upon him, passed it to Riyadma, passed it somewhere back to Rodri or someone else, and helped the move continue. Jack Grealish today didn't allow the fluidity of the structure to break down. Jack Grealish today didn't allow the fluidity of the move to break down. So Grealish was extremely impressive today for me. I think positives. Jack Grealish, big positive. The confidence of Riyad Mahrez. By the way, did you see the audacity? Did you see the courage of the finish? The finish of the finish on Mahrez offside goal. That finish is just fantastic. So wonderful victory, and this victory is more than 3-0. Like that Spurs victory seemed like a plant turning on a new leaf after the spring season is up. So it seemed like that this victory is more than just just 3 points. It's about Pep getting his team back, like I said in the press conference. It's about City believing in the ethos of Pep, City playing like the way we used to play, City not throwing out excuses. In the previous games, what I thought was we were throwing out excuses that, Haaland is there, that's why we'll just play two, three passes and we'll slow it down in one pass to Haaland. But today we didn't allow that excuse to hamper the team. We still played fluidly as if a false nine is there, but we didn't delay the final ball. We sent the final ball fast as well. So the build-up was not affected, the interchangeability was not affected, the fluidity was not affected. It was just a wonderful play all round. Vinicius fans today fairly reacted to Pep. Fans, players, everyone reacted to fantastically to Pep. Right today, again, Haaland didn't seem like a hindrance. Right, we were quick enough in the playing the final third, but we didn't compromise our build-up. Haaland didn't drop in too much, but our build-up was not affected. We took our time in the build-up, but when it came to press the trigger, we were two, three passes, boom. I think that's how you do it. It's a little bit of an element of what Klopp, Liverpool in their prime used to do, for example, quick transitions. So in the final third, I think we make sure that we send the ball in fast. We send the ball in first time. So wonderful from City today. City will hammer Leipzig 5 or 6 aggregate in the Champions League. It's never that straightforward. The sense of the occasion, the nerves, and lot of things come into account. I think it will be a close game, especially because German teams are fantastic on the counter. So German football is generally fantastic on the counter. So Leipzig will be sitting back, and we will have the ball in transitions. How will you defend against transitions? Because German teams are extremely good at transitions. So it will be difficult. It will be very difficult. Bayer Leverkusen is an example in the recent times when we played them. The transitions, we were unable to. Even this season as well, right? The German team, we actually conceded a lot of goals. And Nkunku plays in that team. I can't remember in the group stage. We conceded a lot of goals, I think, this season. So German teams are always a challenge. Bayaji says finally a clean sheet. Finally, Bayaji, a clean sheet. And did you like this, Bayaji? Did you like this defensive structure actually with Laporte in it actually? Because if you ask me, I think we look solid with this sort of a defensive structure with Laporte in there and on the left back. And even when Laporte came to centre back, I think it looked solid. I know Stones is in good form, but I do think that Laporte, Akanji, Laporte, Stones. I think with Laporte in there, it gives us another option to play out from the back. For example, he's left footed, he can ping those diagonal balls in. That's an advantage. And second thing is, he can come out of tricky situations. Is really good on the ball, Laporte, and is solid as well. Good in the air. I actually think we look solid with Laporte there. Laporte, Akanji, Laporte, Stones. I think Laporte needs to be a mainstay in this defense now. Vinay is still concerned that there are no natural left back. That's Pep wants Peron as soon as possible. Natural fullback, natural winger. Actually, really concerned that there are no. I mean, the winger also. Okay, the winger problem we are somehow solving with Jack Grealish getting into the fore a little bit. I'm not carried away and saying that Jack Grealish suddenly, his season's changed and stuff, but he's improved. Riyad Mahrez coming into form. Now we need Foden back to form, and that front is surely improving. But what do you do about the fullback? Now I can't imagine Pep playing, Laporte as a fullback in a Champions League game, or Laporte as a fullback against Arsenal, for example. Who plays on the right for Arsenal? Saka, right? Saka against Laporte. Do you fancy? Do you fancy them? Laporte, no, right? So then Laporte will be pinned back. So Pep needs to address the fullback problem. We need Cancelo back in form. I think we need Cancelo absolutely back in form. Bayaji says yes, some young legs are needed as soon as possible. Peron will be interesting. I have a gut feeling that he'll put Peron somewhere inverting the midfield somewhere there. Alsta says bye great team. Thank you Alsta. Have a nice evening. Remote control account says Conte is leaving Spurs apparently in the summer. I'm actually sure that he would have already had his bags packed and sent them to Italy. So Conte just realizes there's no sense in coaching that team. The defenders are useless and the defenders don't know how to defend. I mean, when is the last time you saw a Conte defender being turned around like a Langley was done, right? When was the last time you saw a Conte team surrendering a 2-0 lead in the space of 8 minutes? Conte is done at Spurs. Conte is done at Spurs. It was expected, right? Conte, Mourinho, they have three, even Tuchel for an extent, they have, 3 season Spurs and they generally win the trophy in their second season, maybe a third season. Otherwise, the third season comes crumbling down. So it was the writing was on the wall. Son didn't want to play for Conte. It's apparent. Harry Kane is almost tired of doing the dog work. I mean, when you can't motivate a team for a derby, for the North London derby, you could say that Conte has lost the dressing room at first. That's the only thing I would say. Vinay says just keep eye on Sabojla, his pacey playmaker, bit injury prone. Injury is something which we will be actually looking at. But Vinay, I'm actually thinking that did we do a mistake by letting Ferran Torres go? Because Ferran Torres was, I think, the classic winger which we would have needed. He's an upgrade on Raheem Sterling. He has that pace and his crossing ability and everything. His creativity is very good and his finishing is very good. Is better than Raheem Sterling. So did we do a mistake by letting Ferran Torres go to Barcelona? Because compare when Ferran Torres was initially signed, the comparisons were made to they were made to Cristiano Ronaldo. In fact, we did a video on this channel telling is he the next Cristiano Ronaldo. I'm somehow looking back and thinking probably we should not have let Ferran Torres go. Football Crate says I think Chelsea will come. When I say Saka versus Ake, Laporte is useless. But with Ake again, the problem is Arsenal press high. Can Ake, you know, get out of the press? Can Ake offer creativity coming forward? It's question marks. I think with Ake you get the best defensive side, and with Sergio Gomez you probably get a best offensive side. It will be interesting to see how he deals with the fullback problem against Arsenal. Alsta says, have a nice evening as well. Bye bye, Alsta. Vinay says, thank you for being on the stream, by the way. Vinay says, but is it fair to deal with dodgy UA? I think we have dealt with UA in the past, right? Cancelo we have got from UA, right? We've given them Danilo. So I think UA are fairly easier to deal with. I think it's easier to deal with UA now. The players would probably want to come out of UA as soon as possible. So I think it will be easier to deal with UA. Bayaji says Levy deserves this for denying us Kane, but no regrets now. Absolutely no regrets. We got Haaland, but Bayaji, I think if we would have got Kane back then, I know hindsight is always it's beautiful to go to hindsight and imagine things which have not happened. But if we had got Kane, probably I think for that 1 season or 2 seasons, Pep would have actually created one of the best teams. We would have won the UCL probably that year. I think Pep would have created one of the best teams because the untouchable teams, like untouchable in the sense like that 0809 Barca, how it's done. I think Pep would have created that sort of a team if Kane came. The reason I'm telling is because there is no other player who can play false nine and also who finishes as well as Kane. His crossing ability from deep, the way he links up play. There's no parallel to him. That's why City went 150 for him, but Levy being an idiot, City didn't go for him. No regrets now, but just imagining what would have happened if Kane was there. I was just imagining it a few days back, and probably Pep would have created the perfect team. Football Critics is cheap and reliable. Chelsea will come. Chiesa will come. Federico Chiesa will be a very good signing. Federico Chiesa will be an absolute good signing. Vinay says, yeah, Levy is paying for his own mistakes. I would put a bit of blame on Harry Kane as well. And also, the advice is taking who is taking advice from, because at that point of time you're 28, you're 27, 28, you're the best striker in the world, almost you're in the top two strikers in the world. Your ability on the ball and everything is just unmatched. Who would put themselves in a golden cage, signing a 7-year contract without a release clause, signing a 5-year contract without a release clause? I mean, Harry Kane also has to be blamed here, whom he has taken advice with and all. It's an absolute nonsense. Who at their absolute prime, when they're their absolute best, who would, that too without a release clause? At least you sign a 5-year contract and put 150 million as your release clause. Some club would have paid it, right? City would have paid it. So blame Harry Kane for that as well. Vinay says want Chiesa. How much he'll cost? If he's over 25, don't want him. A long-term player like Mudrik is needed. Chiesa is not 25. Vinay, Chiesa is around 22, I think 2023 if I'm not wrong. But Chiesa is just so good. He's just so good. His control and everything. Chiesa is just. But then Chiesa is, I think, he's come through the UA academy, and those Juventus players, the Italian players especially, they have that bond to their club, and when they are stuck in a, when the club is in a tough situation, they generally don't tend to leave. So it might be hard to get Chiesa, but new generation, I actually don't know what Chiesa thinks about this. But yeah, this is about time to sign a proper left back who can cross first time with left leg. David Raum would have been perfect by David Raum would have been an absolute steal. The way he's played for Germany in the World Cup. I mean, rumors came in summer as well, right? David Raum, the rumors came. I don't know why City went for Sergio Gomez. David Raum, he's a marauding left back. He's just David Raum to be perfect. What I don't want is to sign someone like Rafael Guerrero, who's very good attacking wise, but is shut defensive wise and is a bit injury prone. I want someone like a David Raum or people like that. Furlan Mendy also we have been linked to, but I don't quite like Furlan Mendy in an attacking sense. His crosses are just like shite. Nathan Ake is as good as Nathan Ake defensively, Furlan Mendy. Football Ulrich says we should look at Forsberg, Emil Forsberg of Leipzig, KDB replacement and in play centre forward as well, and also as winger. I think Football Critics Pep might try Oscar Bob from the academy as a KDB replacement. I know it might sound like, oh, why will they try Oscar Bob, but I actually think Oscar Bob is very good. His weight of pass, his vision, it's very good. I mean, you almost compare Oscar Bob to Martin Odegaard, that sort of a player, and we need that ilk of a player to replace KDB. So so I actually think we might try Oscar Bob next season. I think could be a breakthrough season for Oscar Bob. Remote control account says UA the transfer stuff. Emre Naisa says the best Mahrez. Yes, we are getting the best of Riyad Mahrez. He's just coming to form at the right time, and he generally comes into form at this time, Riyad Mahrez, right? When the Champions League is almost on its horizon and when it is coming. So wonderful play from Riyad Mahrez. Anyway, guys, thank you so much. Thank you so much, all of you guys, for the wonderful comments. The conversations with you all has just been superb. I thoroughly enjoyed it. So we have a lovely community out here. Thank you so much, guys, again for the conversations, and wonderful victory for City. Now at least we can watch the United Arsenal match relieved. Just having a drink or something in our hand and just watch the United Arsenal match. Otherwise, if City drop points here, you would have to bloody pray for the United to surely make Arsenal drop points. But now you can watch the United match in a relaxed way. Football Critics says, how about Dembele 40 to 50 million? No, Football Critics. Doesn't fit. The attitude of Dembele doesn't fit the club. The talent is there. He both footed, and Xavi told that he hasn't seen a natural like Dembele. But again, I go back to the press conference of what Pep said, and what Pep has been saying since he has come to the club: the attitude, the ethos, the spirit, the hard-working nature, being a being extremely a good human being. I mean, all of those things. Dembele doesn't buy into the ethos of what Pep is building here. He's not hardworking. Do you expect Dembele to track back and help your fullback? I don't. And he's injured half the time. No, he's not. Again, I think when bringing a player in, we have to look at the team spirit aspect as well. Will the player settle into the group well? How the player will actually contribute to the group becoming even better? Because buying players, buying superstars is easy. The difficult bit in building a team is the team spirit. How do you think we came back from 2-0 down with 10 minutes to go, roughly 15 minutes to go against Aston Villa? Team spirit. How do you think we came back from 2-0 down against West Ham in their home ground last season? The team spirit. How do you think we lost to Spurs that time in the Champions League? VAR decision dumped out afterwards 2 days. How do you think we came back and won against Spurs to keep our title hopes alive? Team spirit. I think team spirit is the difficult bit in building a team. Could be any sport, and I think Dembele. I fear Dembele doesn't. The personality and the ethos doesn't actually fit into who we are as a football club. Remote control accounts is Borussia Dortmund 63-64 Liverpool. But he's actually reading out the Champions League title dates. I think hopefully City also will have their name carved on that trophy. Anyway, guys, thank you so much again for joining me. Wonderful discussion. Enjoyed it thoroughly. All of you have a great evening and great that City won the match. See you all, guys, and take care.